Welcome to Lockdown Minis. I'm Richard, and in this video we're going to be painting the Kroot Tacker from Blackstone Fortress. I'm already primed and ready to go, so I'm going to start off here with some white highlight. I'm going to fill in the cloak with Leather Brown by Vallejo. I'm starting the flesh here with a really light green. This is light livery green by Vallejo. Now that's enough with the airbrush. We're going to get onto the actual brush. I'm going to start here with shading the flesh with Euphonian Camo Shade by Citadel. This is just to dumb down that really light green that I put on, but that light green underneath this will help bring up some highlights. I'm now going to use some Seraphim Sepia just to go over the cloak. And here I'm doing a second coat of the Euphonian Camo Shade to the flesh. With regards to these spines on the head, I'm just going to shade these multiple times, so throughout the video you'll see me come back to these, and for that I'm using Dahyak Grekh's Earth Shade. I'm just making a start on all the metallic bits on the weapons, and for this I'm using just Silver by Vallejo. Here's the second shade to the spines on the head. I'm doing two different types of leather on this model. So just on the belt and the thigh straps that I'm painting here now, I'm using Leather Brown by Vallejo. I also use this same colour for the wrists. There's another shade coat to the spines. I'm using Beastie Brown by Vallejo for the second part of the leather, which is for the feet, calves, the pouch, and also the leather grip on the rifle. Here I'm using Vallejo's Black for the shin guards, a couple of straps on the thighs, and also the strap on the goggles and the dagger sheath. Just mixing two colours together now, just to get the right colour for the some of the metal work on the rifle and the pistol on his waist. I've used polished gold and bright blondes, and as you can see I've not used all of it and mixed it all together. I've just used what I need to get the shade that I'm after. It's worth mentioning here that if you don't have a colour that you need, don't be afraid of trying to just mix it with some of the colours that you do have. Most colours you can make, you know, even with a limited palette, so don't be afraid to experiment as well. I'd actually missed some of that leather on the rifle, so I'm just going back here to touch that up. Here I'm going back to Vallejo Silver, just to touch up that armband that I'd missed out earlier, but also just to put some sort of scuff marks and highlights on the shin guards and knee pads. Still working with the silver here. I'm just touching up on some of the details on the head. He's got a little goggle on, some sort of silver implant on the side of his head. Also, you know, his goggles on that he's got. Filling in some of the fine detail on the armband on his left arm. There's just a little bit of colour in that on the box art, so I'm just using Lovian blue, and in a second I'll bring out the red and just touch up that. Also with the red, I'm going to touch up the lenses on the goggles and also the eyepiece. I'm just busting out the Null Oil now, so I'm going to go over the leather, and I'm using my trusty leather recipe. So that's the Beastie Brown with Null Oil over the top to darken that down, and then over the top of that to add more of a brown tone to the Null Oil, which is very black, I use Agrax Earthshade. I'm also using this Null Oil just to go over any metallic bits that are looking a little too bright at the moment. Here I'm just putting that final shade on the leather with the Dahyak Grekh surf shade. For the rifle strap I'm using wolf grey, and there's a few bits of metallic areas on that, like the clasp on the strap, so that I use silver by Vallejo for that, and then I'll go over the whole lot with no oil. I'm using a bit of a shabby bone now just for the sewing on the leather, just to make that really pop out, really bright colour in contrast to the darkness of the brown. And for the fingernails and toenails, I'm using Ogren camo. And here's that wash of non oil just over the rifle strap. Finally, just using black by Vallejo just to go over the base. And here he is, the finished Kroot Tacker. I've really enjoyed painting this model. A lot of my painting lends itself to browns and dark greens. I really enjoy painting orcs and that sort of thing as well. So this fit right into my comfort zone, but also I love that sort of dark and dingy look that I've been able to give this model. If you have enjoyed watching this video, please give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, it's all greatly appreciated, and leave some comments. Thanks very much. Next time we'll be looking at the Imperial Navigator. Until then, stay safe. Bye.